Before we go any further, I want you to picture your own backyard right now. Actually visualize it and count. There's probably one new mound by the mailbox, maybe two over near the shed, that one dead center in the yard, right where you were about to set up a hose reel, and a few more along the fence line that definitely weren't there 2 weeks ago. If you're dealing with this, you know exactly what I'm talking about. You've probably been stepping around them. Maybe you've even been frustratedly mowing straight over the top, just hoping that somehow counts as dealing with it.
But here's the frustrating reality. It doesn't. Every time your mower blade clips a mound, it really just scalps a brown patch into your lawn, and the ants simply rebuild a bigger mound within a couple of days. Now, maybe you've already tried the chemical sprays, the kind that promises to kill on contact. And for about 20 minutes, it's highly satisfying. Every anthill spray touches drops. But then you wake up the next morning and the hill is just as busy as it was before. Why does that happen? Because that spray only ever reaches the worker ants on the surface. The queen is tucked safely away in a deep underground chamber that the spray never touches, and she just puts 1,000 more ants to work overnight. Let's look at what's actually going on down there.
Part 1. The problem in your lawn. Most people just file anthills under a simple cosmetic annoyance, but the unseen damage is actually pretty significant. Beneath that mound, an ant colony is actively excavating soil, hauling it up to the surface, and what that does is leave your grass roots suspended in open air pockets down in the dark, entirely unable to pull in water or nutrients. They quietly starve to death before ever turning brown on the surface. And above ground, the mound itself physically smothers whatever grass is trapped underneath it, completely blocking out light and airflow. Now, if any of those mounds happen to belong to fire ants, this stops being a lawn care issue and becomes a genuine safety hazard for your kids and your pets.
Part 2. Mechanical, not chemical.
Before I tell you exactly what to use, we really need to understand why we must step away from traditional store-bought chemical solutions. Every spray or bait relies on synthetic compounds to poison the ants, but over generations, colonies actually build biological resistance to them. They learn to avoid poison bait, and those harsh chemicals leave lingering residue in your soil. So we need a completely different approach. We're replacing chemical poison with mechanical destruction. A mechanical solution attacks the ant's physical body. That's an action that is quite literally impossible for an insect to out-evolve, and it leaves absolutely no chemical residue in your yard.
The mechanical solution we're talking about here is diatomaceous earth, which is often just called DE. It's an incredibly cheap, fine, chalky white powder made from the fossilized remains of microscopic ancient algae. You can easily find a bag at almost any local hardware store or garden center. But what's really fascinating is what DE looks like when you put it under a microscope. It doesn't look like a soft powder at all. It looks like millions of jagged pieces of shattered glass.
Part 3. How it destroys colonies.
Now, these microscopic silica shards are completely harmless to you or your dog, but they are absolutely devastating to an insect. When an ant walks through diatomaceous earth, those microscopic, glass-like shards cling to its exoskeleton and physically slice through the thin, waxy coating that keeps the ant's vital moisture locked inside. The ant slowly dehydrates, but here's the genius part. It doesn't die on contact. Instead, it becomes a Trojan horse. On day 1, the coated, dying ant walks back deep into the mound. It brushes against other workers. It feeds the queen mouth to mouth. Every single contact transfers those fatal microscopic shards. By day 3, surface activity heavily slows down. And by day 7, the powder has rippled through the entire system, resulting in total colony collapse from within.
Part 4. The unexpected grass benefit. Here is where this explainer takes a turn into something genuinely surprising. Once that colony is gone, the grass growing back over the old mound doesn't just recover. Because diatomaceous earth is roughly 85% silica, as it naturally breaks down into the soil over the following weeks, it acts as a highly beneficial plant-available mineral for your grass. University research shows us exactly how this works. Silica strengthens the plant's cell walls, making your grass blades physically tougher. It improves drought tolerance by helping the plant hold on to moisture. But most importantly, it encourages something called tillering. Tillering is when a single grass plant sends out more side shoots from its existing root system. More tillers mean the turf grows back visibly thicker exactly where the silica was applied. So you kill the pest and feed the grass using the exact same product.
Part 5. Exact application methods.
I want to take this step by step because precision here separates success from failure. For direct mound treatment, meaning the hills you can already see, here is your exact recipe. Take 1 cup of the DE powder and sprinkle it evenly over the mound. Next, take a screwdriver and gently poke 4 to 5 holes straight down into the mound, about 2 to 3 inches deep. Finally, dust a little extra powder directly down into those holes. Now listen closely to this part. Do not kick the mound apart. You want the colony intact and agitated. So as they scramble to repair the holes you just made, they're constantly moving through the powder, spreading it deeper inside.
For prevention, you'll want to lay a perimeter barrier. Simply dust a continuous line of powder along fence lines, your home's foundation, or patio edges, basically anywhere ants might cross into your yard. Incoming ants pick it up and carry it back to nests you don't even have to look for. And if you have a heavily infested yard with unseen nests everywhere, you can do a broadcast application. Use a standard spreader to apply exactly 2 pounds of powder per 1,000 square feet. Then water it in very lightly to settle it right into the turf.
Part 6. Essential Rules and Safety.
I really need your full attention here because there are strict rules for handling this safely and correctly, and you definitely shouldn't skip these steps. Rule 1, and this carries the most weight, you must buy food-grade diatomaceous earth. Never ever use pool-grade. Pool-grade DE is heat-treated and contains crystalline silica, which is genuinely dangerous to inhale. The bag must explicitly say food-grade. Rule 2, apply it dry. Pick a day with no rain in the forecast for 24 hours. Rule 3, wear a basic dust mask during application. Rule 4, keep pets off the treated grass for about 1 hour until the powder settles completely into the soil. After that, it's entirely safe. And Rule 5, be patient. Give the colony 3 to 7 days to collapse.
To show you how this actually plays out in the real world, let's look at a grounded case study. 11 mounds were tracked in a single backyard, and that included 3 stubborn fire ant mounds. All 11 were treated exactly as we just discussed. By day 7, all surface activity was dead. Now the fire ants did take a second light dusting and were gone 3 days later. So 11 mounds treated, 11 mounds eliminated. But the remarkable part? 2 weeks later, a blade count was conducted. The grass growing exactly where those 11 dead mounds used to be had grown back roughly 30% denser than the untreated grass just a few feet away.
Now you likely have a few specific concerns, so let's address them calmly. Does it work on fire ants? Yes, absolutely, but their colonies are much deeper, so expect it to take 7 to 10 days, and be prepared for a second application. What about carpenter ants? Well, it only partially works. Carpenter ants nest in wood, not soil, so treating your lawn won't reach their primary home. Does it hurt your deep soil earthworms? No. Earthworms live in moist soil below the surface, and DE only works when it is completely dry. And bees? Totally safe. Bees fly over the soil, they don't walk through it. Just avoid dumping the powder directly onto the petals of blooming flowers.
I know many of you are deeply frustrated by expensive pest subscriptions that just seem to keep billing you while the ants keep coming back. The cost difference here is staggering. A professional pest service will charge you between $150 to $200 for a single seasonal visit. A bag of diatomaceous earth, which will easily last you the entire season and handle multiple treatments, costs between $12 and $15.
It's so easy to feel overwhelmed by lawn problems. Anthills, yellow patches, thinning grass. An entire industry has spent decades trying to convince you that you need a professional and a monthly contract to handle these things. But you really don't. Most of the time, to solve a seemingly impossible problem, all you actually need is a cup, a screwdriver, 10 minutes of your time, and a little bit of solid logic. I hope this explainer gives you the upper hand in your yard this weekend. If you want to keep building this practical system with me, please consider subscribing. And do me a favor, tell me in the comments how many mounds you're dealing with right now and what kind of ants you think they are. I would be genuinely happy to offer some direct advice. So going into this weekend, are you going to keep fighting nature with expensive chemicals? Or are you ready to let an ancient microscopic glass shield do the work for you? Take care of your lawn, and I'll see you next time.